What's up guys, it's Manga Time once again, and I'm here today to bring you a list video requested by the Darkness Within. And it's probably going to be pretty long. He requested that I rank every Wandenreich member, including like Ivan, Luders. So yeah, that's cool. I can do that. Bearing in mind that we not only have we not even seen every Sternritter yet, some of them we've only seen very briefly, so a lot of these rankings will be placed on design only. The Wandenreich are my favourite group in Bleach. I love everything about them. I think they're really just awesome villains. So yeah, I'd love to know who your list is. Maybe not every member, but like your top 5 or 10 Sternritter or something like that. That'd be great. So leave that in the comments below. And for the ones maybe in like the lower half, I'm just going to breeze through them pretty quickly, so the video is not too long. And they won't not exactly be very important anyway. Now, as always with my lists, some of them are bound to be pretty controversial. That's why I invite you to put your lists in the comments. Where is my list? It's so long I had to put it somewhere to read off of it. Here we go. Okay, so yeah. So the first one, my least favourite Sternritter member at the moment, is Sternritter P. Meninus McAllon. Oh hi, Orihime. What are you doing in the Wandenreich? And seriously, that is it. That is pretty much it, isn't it? She looks ridiculous because she looks so much like Orihime. You know, again, it's basically, that is purely design based. She could be redeemed by an awesome P power, poison, something like that. I don't know, poison would be a bit generic, wouldn't it? But then Kubo did explode. So yeah, she looks awful, and she really takes away from the whole kind of, the Wandenreich is supposed to be this neo-Nazi organisation, for God's sake. She's like all cutesy and cuddly and, no, look, she looks ridiculous. She looks ridiculous. And so second on my list is Sternritter T. Candice Catnip. Oh hi, Matsumoto. What are you doing in the Wandenreich? Seriously. No, they look so stupid, and Candice, the very fragments of her personality that we have seen so far, she's literally like Mila Rose again, all over again. So yeah, I'm so not interested at all. Even what we've seen of her Volston dish looks boring as hell. She's bound to have some kind of thunder abilities. So yeah, Kubo dropped the ball on these two. It's a big shame that 2 letters had to be taken up by these characters, in my opinion, because I think they're just a massive waste of space. Of course, it could turn out to be amazingly cool, but, you know, that would take a lot. So my third least favourite is Luders Freegan, who was one of the Aranka we were first introduced to. Funny story, actually, about Luders and Ivan. When we first saw them, I kind of thought they were going to be the new Quiero and Grimjo, and I was worried as hell. I was like, wait a second, these guys cannot be the main villains for the final arc, because Ivan looks okay, but Luders has one of the worst designs I've ever seen. What the hell was Kubo thinking with that guy's hair? He's like dreadlocks on one side and then just random hair on the other, and his hollow remnant mask, his hollow remnant is literally just like a couple of... No, he looks awful, and he doesn't... I've spoken to Kuna9613 about this on multiple occasions. He literally doesn't make any sense. Why on earth would Yhwach send Luders to do the war declaration with Yamamoto? And why is Luders like walking at the front of all these Quincy? How do they even let him get away with that? I know Yhwach kills him, but I don't know, was he kind of just messing with his emotions or something? It's so strange that Yhwach would send this Aranka to Yamamoto's office to do the declaration of war. You think he would give that honour to the Quincy. It's not like he was going to let Yamamoto kill Luders because Luders got away. So that is really strange. Yeah. The way Luders throws off his cloak and he's like in front of all the rest of the Quincy. I mean, what's that all about? At least you presume they're Quincy, considering one of them is 99% Hashwolf since the way he talks back to Yhwach like that. So yeah, no, Luders is far down, man. He looks ridiculous. I was so worried for a time being that he was going to be one of the main bad guys. So yeah, I was very happy when he got killed off. Next on my list, Sternritter R, Jerome Guisbat. These guys were never going to be very high. literally killed off before we even saw them alive on panel. I mean, what's that all about? But as for Jerome, he's very generic. I mean, R could have been something awesome, like the Reaper or the Reap if he's doing. No, the Reaper would probably be it. But the Raw, I mean, like Sonic Raw, that's kind of cool. The way it was popping Shinigami heads was cool. It's just a shame we didn't get to see him. And like, what was up with the transforming into an ape? You know, wasn't explained. So yeah. Next, rather predictably, is Stomata Q, Berenice Gabrielli. The only reason she's above Jerome is because she's slightly less generic. I actually quite like her design as well, for what it's worth. She's got like the alternating colour fingernails, the alternating hair colour. It's neat, and you know, from what we've gathered about her ability, it's unique anyway, that she induces self-doubt into you. So yeah, that's cool. And she has a cool death. He rips out her throat. That's grim. Who's next? The Lloyd brothers, both of them, they're basically the same character, with slightly different powers. Obviously Lloyd was crap. Lloyd was cool, obviously, but at the same time, it does kind of cheapen Yamamoto's final fight, and that makes me not like Lloyd much. God, it's confusing. Their designs were okay though; they were kind of cool, and it was interesting that we got a little bit of backstory for them. So yeah, I haven't got a lot to say about them because they didn't really have personalities because they mimicked other people, I suppose. So yeah, I don't know. They were okay, I suppose, but again, why? Probably relatively hard to come up with something. Maybe, I don't know. What is not too bad a letter? Currently trying to think of something. Probably not going to work. So yeah, the Lloyd brothers are there. Stomata O is next. Driscoll Bursey. This bugs me as well. This bugs me. Driscoll Bursey is the first villain in Bleach to kill a good guy on screen in the present canon, I think. I know it was Chojuro, but still, that's a pretty massive thing. He's just a Yami clone. A Yami clone with a very cool power. So the power was kind of wasted, I think. But I don't mind Driscoll. I love the fact he wears a cravat, and that's just cool. It's completely conflicting with his nature. But then there's also the fact that and his javelins are really awesome that he throws as well. But his design is really lacking. And I presume the only reason Kubo showed him in the initial 6 arriving is because of the fact that he killed Chojuro. That does make him a relatively major player, at least to begin with anyway, in the Sturmitter, so yeah, I'm actually describing these guys a lot more than I thought it was going to be for the lower down ones. Next up is the currently, we don't have a letter for him, Shaz Domino. I don't really have a lot to say. His design is okay, from what we've seen anyway. I don't necessarily like the leopard things on his face. That's kind of weird. But he throws knives, that's cool. And he brought down Akon. If he's one of the weaker Sturmitter, I'd love to see Akon take him out, that'd be great. But yeah, there's not a lot else to say about Shaz, other than the fact he has a cool name. So who's next? Oh god, yeah. If I was ranking the Sturmitter names, this would be at the bottom. So, yeah, you can kind of guess who it is. Sturmitter U, Nananajaku. Seriously, what the hell is that? But as for him, I know his name sucks balls, but he's actually bearable. His design's a bit stupid, like the fact that he's just very over the top. But his U could be pretty interesting. I know a lot of people theorising the undead. That'd be kind of cool. Pretty hacks if he couldn't die. But yeah, I don't know. He's just another one that's I'm very indifferent to. Out of the 3 that got incinerated, I wouldn't have cared if he had died. The other 2, though, I mean, I would have cared because I want to see all of them to do something and show off their powers, but at the same time, I wouldn't have minded as much as I had with the other 2. So, yeah. So yeah, no. He's not that special. Next up is another one that for me is very average, run of the mill. Although he's actually growing on me. It's Sturmiter S Master Masculine. I despised his design when he first showed up. Why would Kubo go about trying to make these guys look as threatening as possible, then have a luchador jump in? Honestly, the stupidest thing ever. He's slightly growing on me though. I absolutely love the scene where he drop kicks Renji. So good. I mean, it probably helps that it's also the scene Byakuya gets taken out, but it's just a great scene overall. And his name is fantastic. Mask de Masculine. Brilliant name. Brilliant name. Next up is Ivan as Quiero. He was basically the very first excuse me, the very first kind of thing we saw about the Wandenreich. He was another ranker, looked a lot like Aizen, but I thought he had a good design for the most part. And it was really funny, Ivan accumulated a massive amount of fan art, really, considering he'd only been in it about 2 chapters at this point. And he got killed off, so that was funny. But I didn't mind Ivan for the most part, actually. He was okay. Okay, we're kind of at the halfway mark with this next one, who is the Quincy who doesn't have a name, and he just kind of laughs like geh. The reason he's as high as he is because I think he's got a fascinating design. He's got like glasses on, massive white beard, and he's got some really funky looking eye stick. He's one of the Quincy I want to know more about. It doesn't help that Kubo's teased his appearance like twice, and that's all we've seen of him. So yeah, he's really mysterious. He's obviously the mind control Quincy. Maybe it's to do with the eye on his stick, and that's the reason maybe those glasses mean that he can't be controlled. I don't know, that's kind of a theory I have, but yeah, interesting. I just want to see more of him. So now we're in the next half. This is kind of the top half of the Wandenreich members. And here's probably one of the more controversial ones, is Sturmiter E. Bambietta Basterbine. I don't like her. She's generic. She's just not the kind of character I like. Simple as that, really. She has an okay design. Her Volstonish looks cool enough, but the Explode is a really boring ability. And I really hope more comes of it. And I'm sure Kubo can't make up his mind as to whether he wants her to be a psycho little child or some kind of older woman. Not older woman, you know what I mean, but the way she keeps calling him doggy and stuff like that is really weird. Yeah, not really a huge fan of Bambietta. It's kind of cool the way she's a bit psycho, like properly psycho, like when she pulled off that psycho face against Momo. That was cool. But apart from that, no, she's not that great. Then up next is Sturmiter Z, Giselle Jewel. I like Giselle, actually. Well, I don't like her, but she's about as good as they come in the little Bambietta Brigade. Apart from the next one, of course. But she has an interesting design. It's unique. And she's really playful, really kind of light-hearted. I can't help but think she's going to be a fucking demon on the battlefield. I really think it's going to happen. She's either going to be a demon or she's going to be crap. It's going to be one of the two. It's going to be a Wonderwise scenario. So yeah, I want to see her do more. And then next up is Sturmiter G, Little Toto Lampherd. My favourite of the Bambi Brigade. It's difficult between her and Giselle, but again, she's really unique looking. I think she's quite unique looking. But I like the personality that we've seen from her so far. In that she on the one hand she's like, I love sweets and chocolate and crap, and then she turns around to Bambietta and she's like, you're a bitch. I thought it was hilarious. Could be the glutton or something like that, because she was eating the last time we saw her, and she talks about sweets all the time. So something along those lines, anyway. Okay, now we're getting into the big leagues. So, how many have we got left? 1, 2. Okay, so top 9. So Lil Toto is my 10th favourite member of the Wandenreich. Okay. 9th favourite member of the Wandenreich is Sturmiter J, the Jail Kurge OP. This guy got a lot of hate, but also got a lot of love. maybe not love, but people liked him because he was cool, and he was an absolute beast. He was a true testament, really, to the power of the Wandenreich, and it's, in my opinion, so far, apart from Yhwach probably, maybe Hashwolf, Kurge has shown the power of the Quincy in a light that none of the others have. None of the others have. It took absolute decade to bring him down. He slaveried Alon, he used Ranso Tengai. I mean, I know why he did this. It's because he was Kubo's way of showing us this is what the Quincy's can do now, But still, that means Kurge is cool, and Kurge has a great, unique design. No one in the Bleachverse looks like him. And his design just improves, in my opinion, every time. Like when he brings Aeon upon himself, he looks monstrous and so evil. His personality was a bit flat, but I thought he was a great villain for it to go to fight first. Zealous, just over the top, authoritative, and a really great villain. I really liked him. Yeah. So my 8th favourite member of the Wandenreich is the currently unnamed Colonel Sanders Quincy. Other names going around are Commissioner Gordon. Basically, he looks like a lot of these people. But he's a badass, absolute badass. He's the one responsible for taking out Shinsui's eye. He pops that dude from behind him without even looking. Another gun user, yeah, but annoying to fight Shinsui, but I don't think he's going to fight him again. I think he'll go up against Ukitake next. A lot of people want him to be C, Stomato C. I'd like that, but at the same time, in my opinion, that would really denote some form of power hierarchy, and I don't think we've got it. I think Kubo's going to throw us a curveball here. And I actually think a clue to the letter of this guy is in his Volsten dish, Grimaniel, the Walk of God, and we see that when he uses it, he seems to get some kind of speed boost, so I think he'll either be the move or the walk, something along those lines. Because I think if it was maybe something to do with his gun, that would be included in the name of his Volsten dish. Because obviously the name of Kurge is Biskiel, the Justice of God, and he had the jail ability. So there must be some correlation between Volsten dish and Epithet. So yeah, that's what I think. And I'm intrigued, what's Colonel Sanders got in his briefcase? Just a cool character, just a really slick and suave character. 7th on my list is Stomato H, the Heat, otherwise known as Basby. I'm not a massive fan of the whole bad boy, I'm a rude motherfucker archetype. It's been done to death, so many times. On that note, though, I will hold my hands up and say I prefer Basby to Grimjo. Just saying. Basby's cool, as far as those guys go. He's got a great attack set. I love the whole burner finger idea. I think it's hilariously brilliant. Plus the fact that he pulls psycho faces every time he uses it. He's also got burning stomp, so he can obviously use his appendages, and it's just cool. We haven't seen attacks like that in a while. He's monstrously powerful. And I love the whole punk rock look he's got going on, his pink mohawk. The fact that he's got nuts and bolts screwed into his ears. He's got a really cool design, and I think when he took off his mantle, he looks even cooler. He's got the funky jacket on and the armbands and everything. It looks really cool. So yeah, Basby, actually, I like him. I do like him a lot. And he's, going strong. I don't think he's even really taken a hit yet. Considering he brought down Toshiro, that's not bad. 6th on my list, possibly another one that's quite controversial, is Jugram Hashwolf. Again, we've seen the whole stoic pretty boy thing a million times. But Hashwolf is cool. He's really cool. And he's got the whole Aryan look about him, the blonde hair, the blue eyes. His cruciform style sword looks wickedly cool. He could be the blade. That'd be G. That'd be really cool. Obviously he's monstrously powerful when they cut Ichigo's sword in half. I really hope Kubo gives us a proper Shinsui versus Hashwolf sword fight, using their abilities, Bankai here, there and everywhere. It would be brilliant, and I'd love to see it. But Hashwolf himself is kind of a little boring. He hasn't got that much personality about him at the moment anyway. He's kind of a mix of Ulquiorra and Gin, but with slightly more emotion than Ulquiorra and considerably less than Gin. And in the same kind of position as Gin, if that makes sense. So yeah, Hashwolf, respectable 6th place. Top 5 now, top 5. Number 5 on my list, Stomato D Askin Naklavar. I love this guy. I think he's hilarious. I think he's brilliant. His weak point is his design. He does look almost identical to Aizen. Although Kubo has kind of given him a bit of a facelift, and he looks a bit different now. But it's his personality where he really shines. He's funny as hell, I think. He's sarcastic. Clearly very intelligent. And I love the fact that he just walked out of his fight with Mayuri. That's hilarious, and it gets me every time I think about it. I think it's brilliant. He clearly can't be bothered. So yeah, I think that's hilarious, and I really like Askin because I think he's going to have really cool powers. It's going to either be something to do with time travel or dimensional travel or darkness, something along those lines. It's just going to be wicked, and I can't wait to see it. I just can't wait to see him do something else. I know he does look like Aizen. I said his design is a weak point, but his design's not even that bad. So yeah, he's my number 5. My number 4 is Sturmiter KBG9. He's a robot, like most of us guessed. He's a fucking awesome robot. He's basically Terminator. I've always liked BG9, but I liked him even more when he pulled a minigun out of his cloak. That was wickedly cool. He's clearly very overpowered as well. He seems to be able to detonate himself and then, I don't know, put himself back together. That was weird. Unless he fired it out of his eye, perhaps, when he exploded around Soifon. But he looks very unique, obviously one of Kubo's most unique designs, even though his face reminds me a lot of Xiaolong Kufeng. I don't think it reminds me of him too much, and obviously you've got the rest of his body as well, which is completely different. But he just has a massive arsenal of weapons. You know, he can like fire missiles out of his body, like whip-like tendrils, the minigun. Just awesomely cool. And I can't wait to see his Volscian edition in the coming weeks. Again, not a huge amount of personality, but then he's a robot, so I don't know what you'd really expect. He's kind of there on pure cool factor. The fact that he can tank Jack Ho-Reich into the face and have it blow off his face, a bit like Baryon, and be alive is just, alive is cool. And BG9 is a contender for one of my favourite lines of the series, which is when Soifon says, you're breathing, you're still breathing, you're a monster. And BG9 just turns around and he's like, I have never taken a breath. I mean, you can just imagine how cool that sounds, when he's got like a robotic voice and everything, and he's got his eye glowing. Yeah, he's really cool. Really cool. Soifon always gets the cool looking bad guys, and she always loses to them. So yeah. So top 3 now. Number 3 on my list, Sturmiter I, the Iron Kang-Do. Kubo did this character a massive disservice. I'm so hoping Kang brings it back the next time we see him. Because he's got such a wickedly cool design. The whole kind of, I don't really say anything, but now apparently he does. The scar on his lip, the obviously Chinese influence, the fact that he's clearly got some kind of Chinese tunic underneath his robes. He's got the little kind of shoes on. I don't know any of the technical terms that Soifon wears as well. Expert martial artist by the looks of things, which is very cool. The Wolverine claws, again, very cool. And I love what we've seen about his personality as well. I think his personality is also to do with his iron epithet, in that he's just very blunt about things, and he's like, you know, if you live together, you die together, that's how we do things. He doesn't believe in pantheism. Luckily, he's not too stupid anymore, as it appears most of the Quincy probably think that as well. I don't know whether Yhwach's been keeping them in the dark or not. But, yeah, Kang's wickedly cool. He is very cool. Coming up against Tosho sucks balls, but I'm glad Tosho's gone down. And now Kang can probably get a proper fight against someone where hopefully he really shows himself to be the awesome character that I think he should be. So, ladies and gentlemen, top 2. Jesus, 24 minutes. Okay. So my my second favourite member of the Wandenreich is Emperor Yhwach himself. Bleach has been needing this kind of bad guy. I mean, I've said about him and the number 1 in my top 10 characters, so you can check that out as well. I'm not going to try not to reiterate too much, but Yhwach's a scene stealer, man. Every scene he's in, he's just an absolute scene stealer. Doesn't help that he's got a gigantic stature, wicked cool design, you know, badass mutton chops. The fact that he's a complete beast in battle, and the fact that he doesn't give a shit about anything really. I think he's just wickedly cool. He's a bad guy we've been needing. Aizen was very cool, but Yhwach's a better bad guy. Yhwach gets stuff done. And he's been woven into the lore so well that he just, you know, he murdered the parents of Uryu and Ichigo. He has this feud with Yama. He's the king of the Quincy. He's the first ever Quincy. I mean, that's just cool. He's just very cool. I think Kubo's taken a lot of time with this character. He is the origin of Zangetsu. I mean, it's just great. I think he's awesome. And I just can't wait to see him fight even more. He's got Zanka no Tachi. Just a badass. Just a plain badass. However, he's not my favourite member of the Wandenreich. That honour goes to Sturmiter F. the Fear Asnot. Wow, he's just... What can I say about Asnot that's not already been said, you know? I mean, he's just awesomely cool. Brilliant design. What's under the mask, you know? I mean, like... Wow. What could have possibly happened to this guy to make him the way he is? His power is unbelievably cool. He's the Scarecrow of Bleach. I mean, what more do you want? Couple that with the fact that he brought down Byakuya, like that is just epically cool as well. But he's just so brilliant. Kubo's knocked it out of the park with Az's design. He's got this kind of gothic thing going on, but at the same time he's really animated and expressionful. Like when he steals the Bankai off Byakuya, he does the kind of troll grin. You can tell he's smiling even though he has a mask over his face. How does that even work? But yeah, brilliant character. I love him. I think he's great. His personality is cool. We could do with seeing a bit more of him, but I think Kubo's saving him. I'm resigned to the fact Byakuya is going to kill him. I'm resigned to it, but hopefully Az gets to do a bit of damage before Byakuya makes his eventual return. But yeah, Az for the win. Easily my favourite. I love the fear. I love the power. Everything. Whew. So that's my top list of the Wandenreich so far. I'll probably have to make another one at some point, but hopefully not for a very long time. Maybe towards the end of this arc. When the rest of the Sturmiter are seen and we know everything about the rest of them. But yeah, what do you think of my list, guys? Do you agree with any of my positions? And if not, well, even if you do, put your own lists in the comments. I'd love to see them. Don't forget to subscribe. And I shall catch you next week for a review. Until then, guys, see ya.